All right. Where were you at the time of the games?
Well, during the actual games, I was home watching TV on black and white, small TV. I think I even got a picture taken inside the house with the game in the background.
Oh, wow.
It was grainy. Back then, of course, everything was antennas, but watching it on TV. And it was definitely a process of, the Olympics. It was the days of the Russians would always win. The Russians had won for so long, and they're known for, we won't quite say cheating, but on two levels, they're pros. Their amateurs weren't amateurs. Their amateurs were really pros. They got paid.
Yeah.
So it was always the Russian big team was playing our college kids, which the movie depicts. And there was also, I think there was a blood doping thing at the time, which was basically taking the blood out of somebody, putting the blood back in them before they play the game, which is considered illegal, but it's also hard to catch.
All right.
So
So you're watching it on your TV at home when they won.
yeah.
Now, how big do you think the win was for the U.S. as a country?
For some people, and most certainly not all, and other people didn't even notice because it's not their thing, or the Olympics aren't their thing. But it was just that we had won, again, against the Russians was a big deal, but against the world too, in a good patriotic sense, nothing against any other teams, but it made everybody feel good about it. That's all. Just that long shot winning, so far away, no way we're going to get there, and all of a sudden we got there.
Yeah. Now, do you know when they started using pros in the Olympic Games for the United States?
Well, for all countries, it was decided, I believe, I'm not sure if this is correct, but I thought this was how it went, was that just the line had blurred too much between amateurs and pros, particularly the bloc countries of the Soviet Union. There was no real amateur players, so why bother saying that? So now we have, like we say, dream teams of also basketball players. Of course, America doesn't always win. Some of our teams, our players are actually our Czechoslovakian players playing in the NBA, so they go back and play for Czechoslovakia. But I don't know when that was, 90s or I believe it was the late 90s.
Like 98 or something like that.
Of note, I could have been at the Miracle Games, but somebody invited me, and I said, yeah, it's really interesting, but I don't think they're going to do that good, or whatever it was, whatever my excuse was. I was too busy, and of course, did I ever regret that?
Oh, yeah. Do you think that the Cold War had influence on the games?
The Cold War set up the games as very much among all the other countries, but it most certainly was sometimes the free countries versus the countries of the Soviet Union, the satellite countries. So yeah, there was definitely us against them. Mostly, I mean, most of the viewers thought it in a good way, but it did seem to be that line. And there was a adding up of the medals was kind of a thing. Well, the Soviet Union has how many medals? How many medals does America have? There's always that comparison.
Yeah.
By Jim McKay, as I recall. You ever see that old footage?
I haven't.
Jim McKay was one of the announcers on there for ABC, CBS Sports, I can't remember, but it's always, okay, the medal count is in the third rounds, and then go into the medal count, so the medal rounds, and who had how many medals. So that was a little bit of us versus them.
And how many guys did they have on the roster? 20? Was it?
Something like 20. I couldn't say. It was 20 or 21.
All right, well, thanks. Thanks, Mr. Dixon.
Thank you. Cool.